What is going on, everyone? Leon checking in, and we're at it again with another video. In today's video, we'll be unboxing, installing, and reviewing the Razer Kishi. Now, the Razer Kishi is exciting because it's arguably one of the best controllers for Android and cloud gaming. Its highlights are its functions, low latency, and universal fit for many Android devices. Now, we've talked about a lot of controllers and mounts related to Android and cloud gaming, and if you want to find out more information about these devices, you can click on the playlist in the corner of this video. Now, it's important to note that the Razer Kishi works with Android version 8.0 or higher, so you're going to want to check your Android version before making the purchase. Also, before using the Razer Kishi, I recommend enabling screen rotation on your Android device for an optimal experience. Now, if you're interested in the Razer Kishi, you can find it at the Amazon storefront link in the description below. As always, I only feature products or services I buy or would like to buy. This gives the channel more credibility and appeal because we feature items that interest me and change the way we live. Don't have time to watch the whole video? We're now a podcast you can find on multiple platforms by searching for Pixels Cracked. You can also support the podcast by making a small monthly donation. And if you are listening to this on a podcast, you can find the YouTube channel by searching for Pixels Cracked as well. All things said, let's go ahead and get into it. So here we are with the unboxing. The Razer Kishi ranges in price from $80 to $100. Contents include the Razer Kishi controller for Android, product information, and nifty Razer decals. There's also a Razer Kishi companion app available on the Play Store that serves as a minimalist launcher for your Android app gaming experience. So let's talk design elements. First, we have the Razer Kishi controller locked in its collapsed state. Dimensions include a length of 3.71 inches, a width of 5.28 inches, and a height of 1.47 inches, which gives the Kishi a weight of 0.36 pounds. This means the Kishi has a smaller footprint than common controllers like Stadia and Xbox. Starting with buttons, there are two clickable analog thumbsticks. The first is located on the top left of the joystick, while the second is located toward the mid-right. Next, we have two function buttons labeled with a left and right facing triangle respectively. Below the left thumbstick is the 8-way D-pad. Under the D-pad is a special function button with a home icon on it. The top right of the Kishi features four face buttons labeled X, Y, B, A. This controller features a USB Type-C connector for docking your smartphone and two speaker ports located to the right of it. A status indicator is located on the right edge of the controller. Moving to the top side of the controller are the triggers labeled L2 and R2 and the bumpers labeled L1 and R1. On the bottom right is a USB Type-C port for pass-through charging only, meaning Type-C headphones and other accessories aren't supported. That being said, Bluetooth earbuds or headphones are best here. I recommend the Skull Candy Crusher Evos, which we reviewed recently. They have excellent bass and sound for a truly immersive gaming experience. Lastly, the Kishi features Razer branding on both the left and right side of the controller. So let's talk installation of your phone into the Razer Kishi. There are two methods. The first way is by using your device without its case. This may be your only option if your case is too thick to fit or you have a large phone. For reference, I'm using the Pixel 3 XL. The Kishi features silicone guides that protect your phone from scratches and hold it securely in place once it's installed. Expanding the Razer Kishi is done by pushing the release latches away from the center of the controller and pulling up on the retaining plate slightly. Successfully docking your phone to the USB Type-C connector side first changes the LED indicator to blue momentarily, indicating that the controller is ready for use. Simply slide the other side of the controller over your phone to complete setup. The second way to install your phone into the Kishi is with your phone's case installed. For this method, I'll be using the Pixel 5 with Ghost Tech covered case. This is the most convenient method because you're not compromising the protection of your device. This solution may also help if you have a larger phone that didn't fit with the first installation technique with case off. The only problem with installing a phone with its case off using this method is we will be removing the Kishi's protective silicone bumpers, which increases the risk of scratches to your device and possibility of a loose fit. Now, case size does matter. Low profile cases have the best chance of fitting. Rugged cases like an OtterBox Defender series will not fit, in which case you'll have to return to the first installation method. So the first step is to remove the silicone guides from the Razer Kishi first. The silicone guides are securely attached with notches, which makes removal slightly challenging, but it is possible without damage. Once the silicone guides have been removed, we can dock our phone USB Type-C connector side first, and then we can pull the other side of the controller over the phone. For both of these methods, the controller's retaining plate supports your device or case while protecting its underside. This makes the controller design extremely functional while creating a futuristic look. The dimensions of a completed kit measures 3.71 inches in length, 10.54 inches in width, 1.74 inches in height, and weighs around 3/4 of a pound depending on your smartphone's weight. When it comes to media browsing, the Razer Kishi has potential as long as screen rotation is enabled and we're using apps that support it. For example, with the Razer Kishi, we can select news stories and read them using the Kishi. The Kishi also works great for browsing YouTube and selecting videos. In these situations, the left thumbstick acts as a fast scroll while the D-pad acts as an incremental scroll. The A button is used for selection while the B button is used for back. When it comes to apps like Instagram and Netflix, navigation is odd or impossible because these apps either support landscape and controller functionality partially or not at all. So let's talk Android app gameplay. First, we have the Razer Kishi app, which can be found on the Google Play Store. Once in the app, you can log in using your Google account. Once installed, the companion app serves as a launcher for compatible Android games. It's not perfect, as I had games installed that were compatible that were not listed in the compatible section. Overall, this section is not perfect, but it's decent for getting you started. Now, if you do want to add apps that you do have to the compatible list, all you have to do is click Add on the top right-hand corner. This brings up a new window, and you just scroll down to the app that you wish to add to the compatibility list. Here we have Asphalt 9, and we're going to click on the slider. It's going to change it to green, and that should add that game to the compatible list. Now, if we exit out, I still won't see it in here. This is a problem that I ran into, and this is even after I cleared cache and force closed the app. Now, although I tried to add games that I already had to the compatible list and didn't succeed, I can still find them in this app by scrolling down here. They're going to be in a section called Untested. When it comes to playing games with the Razer Kishi, they work really well. Everything is responsive. Controls in general are pretty good. There might have to be some minor remapping done, but it's not something that you'll experience often. Across Age 2 is a game that kind of plays similar to Pokemon back in the day, and the Razer Kishi works great with a game like this. You have a story here, and you can move through the story by pressing the A button. That'll help you continue through the dialogue. When it comes to racing games like Horizon Chase, the Razer Kishi is also great. This game has simple controls. You have things like the A button for acceleration, the X button for nitrous, and you just use a thumbstick to steer. And this works really good on a phone because you have blazing fast action going on here, and the controller is just very responsive. So let's talk cloud gameplay, which may be the reason you bought the Razer Kishi. The Razer Kishi works great on both Stadia and Xbox Game Pass and all the games I've tried. So when it comes to Stadia, the Razer Kishi works as you would expect. So here we are in Cyberpunk 2077, and all the controls work just like a Stadia controller. The only thing I haven't been able to figure out is how to use the screenshot feature, but everything else works really well, and the response that this controller gives you is very nice. When in games, the top left function button acts as a pause button, and the lower right button acts as a start button. The home button acts as a social button if tapped, and a resume exit game menu button if pressed and held for 3 seconds. And then we have Xbox's Game Pass, which is in beta, so it seems to load a little slower than Stadia, but works good otherwise. Function buttons feature a similar operation in comparison to Stadia, with the exception of pressing and holding the home button doesn't perform a command. So let's talk speaker functionality. Again, the Razer Kishi features built-in speakers on the right side of the controller, and these work very well. Again, I do recommend earbuds or headphones for a more immersive experience, but we're going to go ahead and do a test. So I'm going to start by turning up the volume all the way. And then we're going to tap the A button.
What's my objective?
Reaching your destination.
And where is that?
It's still a long way to go. You will understand more when we get there.
I would prefer some more substance to your answers.
Collapsing the Razer Kishi is easy to do as long as it's done in daylight. It's just the reverse. Simply remove the left side of the controller first, undock your phone, and then fold the controller up. Now this is where things get a little bit more complicated in dim situations. It's hard to see where these two sides connect, and you'll have to turn on a flashlight to do so. So doing this in the dark is going to be near impossible, but during the day it's pretty easy. So final thoughts. The Razer Kishi combines with your smartphone to create a futuristic mobile gaming kit, and it works very well. With the Kishi, it's possible to turn any smartphone into a mobile gaming console without the console commitment. The Razer Kishi recreates a mobile gaming experience similar to the Sega Game Gear, PlayStation Portable, and Nintendo Switch. Now this whole kit works really well also because it combines physical controls with touchscreen controls that just work good together. This means that you can quickly exit a game and perform other tasks that only work well with touch controls like Instagram. Now the whole reason this whole system works extremely well is because you have an always-on data connection, you have multi-purpose use, and you have an ever-expanding game library of apps and cloud. As for faults, they're minor. The biggest fault really isn't a big fault at all, considering that this is a universal mobile gaming device, and that is the left side of the controller has a little bit of play with your phone installed, and that depends on the size of your phone and the size of your case. And then we have the triggers, which may feel like they lack travel, and the springs that are built into them feel less than premium. But again, this is all to be expected because it's a mobile gaming device and it collapses. Now in comparison to other controllers like Stadia and Xbox, the Razer Kishi is hands down the best controller you can go with for a mobile gaming experience. That being said, don't be so quick to get rid of your game controllers. They work great with TVs, computers, and tablets. So that is it for today's video. If you enjoyed it and found it useful, please leave a like. If you're watching this on YouTube and have any questions or comments, as always, drop those down below and I'll do my best to answer them. Now there are 3 ways you can support the channel and podcast. The first way is to click on the Amazon storefront link found in the description below. There you'll find items that I have bought or I would like to buy, and anything you buy from the storefront does support the content. The next way you can support us is just by sharing this content with someone who might enjoy it or find it useful. And the last way you can support us is just by clicking the subscribe or follow button. Now, liking and subscribing are important. Those are your ways to vote on whether you like the video or the podcast. Liking and subscribing are also important for new viewers and listeners. When new viewers and listeners see likes and subscribers, they think that the content is helpful, worth watching, and listening to. So that is pretty much it. And until next time, Leon checking out.
You